My mother told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in Asian and in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
I'm Sky.
And today we want to talk about our favorite time of the year, maybe, Christmas!
Yay!
We've been talking about Christmas in dramas and how it's not really the same as it is here. Like, here, Christmas is huge on TV, right? It's like, I mean, even like Netflix, there's like 50 different, the Christmas Prince and the Christmas Switch and the Christmas and the Staples and the, like, whatever.
Like,
it's like a
Hallmark.
Romance, like a Hallmark. Yeah, like there's just, which is kind of K-dramas all year round, right? Like they're always these like tropey romances. Like,
in that sense, yeah.
I was really surprised when I first got into K-drama that there's not these, like, even just little drama specials, that there aren't the 2 to 4 episode Christmas drama specials, because you'd think, like, that's all we get at Christmas time here. And
it's like a drama special did come out recently, but it was about, like, Japanese occupation and opera singers, so not very Christmassy.
Yeah. No, not Christmassy at all.
But yeah, over here in the West, it's very, even if you have a type of drama that wouldn't usually do Christmas a ton, you get a Christmas episode. Like, even if it doesn't make sense, you kind of get a Christmas episode.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a supernatural Christmas episode, if not more.
Which makes no sense.
Like,
a demon or... I don't know. Yeah.
There are X-Files episodes that are Christmas.
Oh,
I'm
like,
sure. Totally.
Like, everything had, like, Buffy had a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Like, they're everywhere, but not
in K-dramas.
Not in K-dramas. I think because it's like, you know, it's not like a national holiday.
Which is a little weird for me, given the level of Christianity that we see in South Korea. Like, there's a lot of people who are members of the church, nominally at least, and they have sort of that more old-fashioned Christian moral system in a lot of things, at least in the dramas. And
I think it's sort of like they've blended like this sort of old school Christian morality with Confucianism, which leads into a lot of, you know,
stuff,
social problems that we won't go into today because we're trying to keep it light and pleasant.
I think that'd be the main holiday they would adopt. Like, out of all the holidays that would maybe come from that, it would be Christmas.
Here is a big deal there, though, because, I mean, you do see it in every drama, whether they address it or not, because the dramas are all current, not all of them, but most of them are aired, like they're filmed as they air. If you're going to have a downtown scene, there's going to be a Christmas tree. There's going to be shops that are, you know, Subway is going to have garlands and wreaths in this, right? So it's there, but they just don't always talk about it or have gift giving,
Christmas party.
I know that in Japan it's treated more like sort of like another Valentine's Day, like it's like an excuse to, like, for couples to get together and eat chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. But
that it's like a holiday. It's not a family holiday. Like,
it's like a lover's holiday to chastely hold hands and blush about it. Apparently.
You confess or kiss in the first snow, so
the first
like
snow.
First snow on Christmas is like even more.
I actually joke about that with my husband. Like, every time, like, the first time it snows, I'm always like, oh, honey, it's a good thing we're together during the first snow. Like, that our love is eternal.
And what does he say to that?
He just goes, okay. That's nice, honey. He's a good bean.
But, so, saying that, I do think in Oh My Venus, I felt like they kind of did a little Christmas party twice.
Well, they had, like, a party. It was like a found family party.
And so, to me, it did feel more a little bit family-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when they do Christmas in K-drama, it seems to be either it's like an opportunity for romance somehow, right? Like he's going to give her the romantic gift or the first snow confession, or it's the let's solidify this found family trope that we've been building up, and now we have a Christmas party or a dinner or
something, a date or
especially with Henry
in front of the tree. Oh yeah, with Henry,
Henry.
They needed to give him his little violin.
They're like,
they're like, okay, listen, we've got Henry. He needs to play the violin.
Not that he sounds like a Christmas Carol, but just playing beautiful lady. Like, but he's making it sound like a Christmas Carol.
He's in front of a Christmas tree, like he's
like kind of a cute little nod, like it's Christmas, but also it's still this show. And I think, I just watched Legend of the Blue Sea, and Christmas. It wasn't like a huge thing, but they did have a little bit of a plot device in it as there was a Santa there who wrote your wishes down and then they put them on the Christmas tree, and it kind of helped further things. So like the little kid that she was friends with, just wished that parents would be able to come watch her in her Christmas play or whatever. And they couldn't, but because these two adults that are friends with her saw this on the tree, they then all went and they made sure she had people.
And found family wins again.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, you mentioning the Santa thing, it reminds me, I think in Witch's Romance.
Yeah, he's dressed as a Santa. That's
he's
right.
He's dressed as Santa, and
he's
chasing her or something.
It's like the very first scene, too.
Yeah, hot Santa.
And it's like a 15-minute chase scene of him running
for a while. But I feel like that was played more for laughs than to celebrate the season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
He's in a Santa suit.
Oh, hot Santa.
Maybe that will have to be my holiday watch now.
First episode.
Hey, you know what? That show's pretty spicy. But
it is. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I found it kind of dragged in the middle, but it.
What? That drags in the middle?
What? Drama?
What?
How many episodes was it? 20 probably?
What a shock.
So, how was it in Come and Hug Me?
If you don't know Come and Hug Me, it's not a very happy show. And you only know it's Christmas because of the decorations, but it's a huge kind of device in the show. And this is not a spoiler because it's the running thing through the entire thing. Her parents are killed during Christmas, and they're basically beside the Christmas tree. So every time there's a flashback, you see the house completely decorated, which is a little different because the family did decorate their house for Christmas. You just don't see any of the traditions or anything that happens.
That's it's kind of a darker take on the old Christmas cheer. I always also enjoy watching the V Lives where they'll have the different groups decorating their Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but there was a really funny one where they finished decorating the tree and they were so proud of it, and then they turned around and one of them accidentally elbowed it off the table, and they were all like, no!
Well, now we're going to have to find that.
So it must be a thing, but it's never used as a real plot device in...
Well, it's just the fact that there aren't these whole episodes or entire series that are based, there's never a Korean Santa at the North Pole with his elves drama.
I would watch that.
It would totally been something we would watch for this. We'd be like, yes.
It would be hot Santa. It would be hot.
Come on. That would be
I'm sure, for kids shows and stuff, there's probably, but we don't really, watch the Pororo Christmas special.
Yeah.
our jam, but
they bring it in for the music show competition stuff and stuff. All of a sudden, everyone that's standing there at the end of the show will be like, let's sing a random Christmas song poorly.
awkwardly and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about it is a lot of them are being pretty professional and happy, but then you get a few goobers who are like way too excited, and so they're like shaking their bum at the audience or just being nuts, and everyone else kind of looking at them like, that's awkward. Okay.
And then you always have like, Key off to the side, just like, no. I don't want to be a part of this. Why is this happening to me? Why am I contractually obligated to do this?
I also kind of I find it interesting that it's like more prevalent in K-pop, especially because in terms of what's marketed to Western culture, K-pop is more like marketed. So they definitely like kind of pick up on those things and like focus on it more, just trying to kind of get people into like listening to the music.
Maybe not intentionally realize that, as I said earlier today. Christmas album like the redheaded stepchild.
Really?
Hey, what's wrong with redheads?
Nothing. Just saying that they're, the lamest of the albums, and I just,
They're
rarely
easy.
inspired.
No,
You know what I mean?
they're
Like,
really just
once in a while, you get a really good Christmas album, K-pop or English or whatever, that's clearly inspired, and they put their own spin and their own take on the songs. But 9 times out of 10, it's just, let's just sing the same old songs the same old way, and we'll make a video of us playing in the snow. Like, it just...
It's always like throwing the snowball, like, so stupid. Oh, Christmas albums. Oy vey.
So we're going to play a game?
I think so.
Sure.
Are we going to kick it off with Natalia's
Okay.
fanfic take?
So I'm going to assume that literally none of the listeners of this are part of our group chat, since it's just the 4 of us. And I am the only person who has never seen the movie White Christmas. I know absolutely nothing about it except for the 20 gifts that were sent to me after I said, I have never seen White Christmas. There was no plot given. They just kept sending gifts to the group chat. So they were basically just gifts of people dancing in various locations or eating. Those were the 2. I have to admit, that was some fancy food. But if I was to make up a random plot based on the gifts that were sent to me, plot was that it was a group of drag queens who received notice that their beloved drag show was being shut down right before Christmas, and decide to put on one last extravaganza, aided by the men who love them, to raise money to save their beloved drag bar. I'm pretty sure, I can't be 100% sure, as I've never seen it, that this is not the plot. However, those gifts you sent me were definitely elaborate drag show quality. like especially, okay, I don't want to be mean to the women. It was a different time, but they're, a little mannish, some of them, just putting that out there. Very, powerful thighs and all that. Just saying. That's how those gifts read to me. Now, what's the actual plot of the movie? No one really told me.
As I was listening to this, it made me think, how on earth am I going to describe White Christmas?
They all go on vacation. They don't really know each other. They meet each other on the train. Well, they sort of meet. The blue gifts where the dancing with the blue with the fan. The girls, they do their show. The guys are there to watch it. And then the girls, they go back to like offer constructive criticism or something, like, because, hey, we're famous guys in the business.
Yeah, the girls also, they invited them there under their friend or the brother who was in the army with them, because they just got out of the army.
So, they've been out of the army for a while, but like they did like a show. They are showmen, and then the girls are also doing they do a show and they're kind of trying to break into it. So they're hoping that they can like get some help from these guys that know their brother or whatever. And then there's like a whole thing with some debt collectors coming after them or something. So the guys, in order to buy them time, go out and like pretend to be them in little bits of their costume and do the number again, which distracts everybody and the girls can escape.
There are drag queens, is what you're telling me.
A little bit.
It's like a 2-minute thing. And
then they all wind up on the same train to Vermont, and when they get there to this lodge, it's their old army commander's lodge, like ski lodge. And they're all like, oh, it's our army commander, and and his lodge is about to go out of business because there's no snow in Vermont for Christmas. So how can we save his lodge?
I got some plot points correct.
You did.
Drag people, not exactly, but yes, they have to save the lodge, and they bring their sets and everything up to this lodge, and all they hope for is that it will be a white Christmas. And then of course the sisters and the two buddies all fall in love, and hijinks ensue, and
I always love those movies where people fall in love over the course of like a week or whatever, and then it ends, and I'm like, ooh, that's a doomed relationship. Like, enjoy this 1 week courtship. Yeah, see, you know what? I wasn't that far off. Like, I could have been a lot more far off.
Yeah, true.
The fact that they put on a show to save a location.
Also the plot of the Muppets movie, so.
Yeah.
The classic plot.
And they do a trope in it, because it kind of like K-dramas, a fake engagement thing.
Oh,
yeah.
To try to get the other couple together, and then of course it just all like implodes. But then it all ends okay. So
if we were reimagining this movie as a K-drama,
I feel you could do it.
Yeah. But I think that it would be, like, slightly different, since there's not, the whole thing. So it would have to be, like, a small theater trying to save itself with a big Christmas show, as it were, And then, like, for some reason, there's, like, a CEO that wants to, like, shut it down through the magic of love for one of the leads, like, changes his mind after a hectic board meeting.
Like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is an idol drama.
I think for sure.
It's a musical, and we're gonna, obviously keep that aspect of it. So you're gonna have all these characters that are supposedly, world-weary, like, thespians who, are just so tired of this life and never getting, famous or whatever. They're all played by, like, 20-year-olds, and
yeah.
Either that or they're all played by members of Super Junior.
It's just a Super Junior vehicle, let's be real.
Junior special.
I mean, I could see, what is it, TVXQ or like
now that I think about it, I would 100% watch this Super Junior.
Oh no, 100% I would.
SM Town White Christmas. I feel it.
I mean, like, it kind of works because you could do the angle where the male leads have just come out of their military service.
That's true. That does work.
So you can like pull some almost direct.
And then they still have their nice military bodies at that point. So, of course, you get a little spicier. You add in a obligatory, shower scene for no reason.
And, they were part of the performing, because, like, a lot of not just the K-pop idols do performances in the army or in the military over there. So they could have met each other there, and that's how they started their troupe.
This is probably would be played by idols. They'd be like young, Joy. Obviously, Joy is the sisters, obviously.
Yes.
And then I don't know who the other sister will be, but
would we still keep
the older sister
strong dancers?
Well, I would think we would have to,
because that is like a central part of the movie, White Christmas.
And the young sister in the movie is not the best actress, but she's quite the dancer.
Yeah, she's really good.
So
yeah, I think it would have to be
kind of works for an idol drama.
Well, you know who would be good?
Shade.
I'll still watch it. Whatever. They're still getting money from me.
pretty much.
Quality-wise, I could see Lisa from Blackpink. Like, she's kind of bubbly and a super good dancer.
Yeah.
So I kind of see her doing okay with that.
And see, and because it's a K-drama, like, you can still have, like, Super Junior be the male leads because they don't care about age gaps. Yeah.
Well, they didn't care about age gaps in the movie, too, because
That's true.
Bing Crosby and the girl, it's like a 23-year age difference.
Then it's perfect.
So it's
perfectly
perfect.
acceptable. I love that, like, we would want to, like, this needs to exist now.
Yeah. This is the problem of us doing
like,
this.
Hey, we have a great idea.
Listen.
Oh, yeah. She has to play the Danny Kaye character because he's the goofy one, right?
Yeah.
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 And then maybe get one of the actors who's a little bit more mature, who's actually a musical theater actor to play, somebody like maybe like even Shin Sung-rock from Last Emperor, right? Because he can play kind of very solid and great personality, but he can also be romantic, and he sings. And
what's his name? The guy from Oh My Ghostess, Joe
Jung-suk.
Yeah, him. He's a really good musical actor.
Oh.
And he's that nice
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said personality. Just straight for a face.
And I could see, like, him and Shiwon playing off each other. Like,
yeah.
I could see that working.
Mm-hmm. And then you have, like, Heechul coming in as the...
No, Heechul can be that phone receptionist girl. That character in the show.
In drag, because it's Heechul. So.
She just has her tissue with her the entire time, crying.
There's this gossip chick, essentially. She's a housekeeper, and she's a busybody, and so Heechul playing that would be pretty darn perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God love them.
So we going to do other reunions of some Christmas flicks?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I've been thinking passionately about my favorite Christmas movie. So we all have different favorite Christmas movies. Mine is Die Hard.
Of course.
I'll fight someone who says it's not a Christmas movie. It is. It has the spirit of Christmas within it,
Just wants to get home to his family.
He just wants his wife not to divorce him, even though he does, like, in the next movie, so whatever.
Spoiling it for me?
Like, that's not even a plot point. Like, they were kind of a doomed couple to begin with. My favorite part about Die Hard is, it's the opening scene where he's on a plane and has a gun in a holster and nobody thinks it's weird. 90s right there. Like, that's... Like, okay. He's like, I'm a cop, so I can, like, cops still can't carry guns on the planes. What's everyone else's favorite Christmas movies?
Mine, I think, is Miracle on 34th Street. The original, the old one. Natalie Wood is the little obnoxious kid, and I like that one.
Yeah, we're not a super, like, Christmas movie family. Like, we watch it, but it's not, like part of a tradition. But I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's also can be a Christmas movie, so...
Hey, he dresses up like Santa and delivers...
He goes to Christmas Town, okay?
It has
Santa.
Christmas in the title.
It's a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm. And you can watch it on Halloween, too, and it's a dual purpose movie, really.
It goes from the beginning of the holiday season right through to the end.
Yeah, you just keep on watching it.
Right through to Valentine's
Don't have to put it away.
It's the only movie you ever need to watch.
Basically.
October and the end of December. Christmas.
I think my favorite one, usually people haven't heard of, but it's by the same director that did It's a Wonderful Life, Frank Capra. It's called Meet John Doe. It has Gary Cooper in it. It's a very Depression-esque era type thing, but it's very love your neighbor as yourself type redemption story thing, so that gets me. But Elf is kind of a go-to easy one that everyone knows about, so.
It's true.
Great.
Elf is a solid one.
I don't even think I've watched Elf for the past couple of years because I watched it too much a few years ago. Take a little Elf break.
Look, gasp.
And then White Christmas, of course, but we already talked about that.
So are we going to recast these movies?
Yeah, I think we should.
Korean leads. I thought about this for like I thought about this for quite a while. I spent a long time today when I should have been working, like thinking like literally like changing my answers, coming up with justifications for why I picked who I did. Like it was a real scientific process for me to make Korean Die Hard, despite the fact that we recently discovered that Korean Die Hard kind of already exists. The movie The Tower, which we still haven't watched because we can't find it legally.
I can't find it.
But
I can't even find it. Not legally, so
but we'll find it one day and we'll we'll compare.
It
Die Hard.
kind of leads me to believe that maybe it's just as good as that Jisoo transgender drag story.
Maybe it's a sign that we shouldn't try very hard.
But the harder they make it for me to watch, the more
you want it.
I like to work for it. So in my Die Hard recast for the titular, not even titular, for just the main dude, John McClane. Now, you might disagree with some of these, but I will justify everything. All right, for my lead, we got Soji Sim. 1, I love him. 2, he really showed his action-y chops quite recently in Terrius Behind Me, so I feel like he'd be a good, crawling through the ductwork.
I'll allow it.
As long as the ductwork is big enough to house said broad shoulders.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's magical,
They're magical stuff. You might have to take your shirt off in order to slide through for some reason. I'm not sure why, but
it's just gonna happen.
Oil himself up to like get. He won't complain. And then he had his, the cop who's outside working for him. Now, this one was one of my, I might get some kickback for it. Now, originally in the original Die Hard, the cop was like middle-aged, sort of, useless character, but also fun. But since I'm reimagining this in the Korean aspect, I decided to go with Kang Han-nol. Mostly because you then have, like, the young cop that nobody takes, the rookie cop that no one's taking seriously. Okay. Then you have Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, the main terrorist dude. I went Jang Hyuk with it because,
All right.
I think it would.
We'll allow that.
We'll
never know to him anything. It's allowed.
It's allowed. So then we have Carl, who's the main henchman. I went with Jung Il-woo for that, make it sort of like a younger, sexy henchman cast. And then for Theo, who's like the hacker who like gets into like where the bearer bones are, we got Woobs. You gotta bring those eyebrows, bring in the Woobs. Nice. And then you have like the third main terrorist, the only other one who had a name, Eddie the terrorist. I just went with Song Jae-rim because I just love him, and I feel like he needs more work. He's good people. So there's also a character called Harry Ellis. I know that I'm bringing in all these characters and you're like, these people exist. Now, if you recall, there's like a sleazy executive who tries to like broker, sort of a deal. Yeah. I went with Lee Kwang-soo for that because I feel like he could play like sleazy fun that makes you sort of love-hate him, right? Then you have the two Agent Johnsons. There's Agent Johnson 1, Agent Johnson 2, no relation.
How do you?
Because they say what a secret. They say in the movie that there's no relation.
Oh, did they? Okay. It's been a while.
I went Ha Jung-woo and Ahn Jae-hyun because I feel like make like a fun pairing between the two, like sort of a bit of a comedy angle. And then you have the most important character with the most important man, Argyle the limo driver. Played by the one and only Kim Won-hae. Because you gotta bring him in. And finally, you have the sleazy reporter who like sort of outs John McClane when he goes and interviews his family. I went with Ryo Jun-yeol. I haven't seen him in a while, and I feel like he'd play a good sleazy reporter.
Who's the wife?
I forgot to cast the wife. Oh no!
If you could see her face right now.
You're shocked.
Pure terror.
She just put her forehead onto her desk. She has failed.
I forgot the wife. I forgot Holly. Okay.
You just did all the men.
Listen,
I'm so shocked and surprised.
Rambling.
Okay. I'm Han Hyo-ju. I feel like, from W. I feel like she'd be, because Holly Gennaro doesn't show up that much, and she just sort of spits venom when she does, and I feel like that'd be a good role for her. There, see, I did it. I cast Holly. If I to be honest, I think the movie passes the Bechdel test, which is not great, but this has a special place in my childhood.
Every movie has to.
It's
the only female in the show, so how is it gonna pass that?
Yeah, there's also an unnamed pregnant coworker, but she's not that important either. She just goes and then that's her whole contradiction.
Well, I guess if I'm recasting Miracle on 34th Street, I haven't put as much thought as Talia did this, so
much time.
Look at the lead. You need somebody who can play the mom is, uptight, well-dressed, she's not one of these cutesy kind of women. So I was kind of thinking like Lee Elijah or Isom.
Okay.
Or I think, because when I started to think about who would I want to play the guy, somebody kind of popped into my mind. And so I think what I would go with for my top pick is Liel as mom, because I think she can kind of do that strict, high-end, businesswoman. I think, she was goofy in that Hwayugi, but she also was in control. She was getting her job done and doing it well and managing the men around her pretty well. And so then part of the reason why I'm choosing her is because I kind of would like to see Cha Sung-won be the, because again, he's fairly he's a lawyer, but he's also kind of goofy. He kind of has that fun side to him. So I feel like he would play that. But also I feel like in Hwayugi, there was some chemistry going on between him and Liel that never really got played out well. So I wouldn't mind seeing them play opposite each other in something again. And then I tried to think of somebody, an older actor to play Santa. And I couldn't really think of anybody that really jumped out at me that I was yeah.
What about Lee Soon-jae?
I don't know.
1 second. I'm trying to think.
Is there a reason it's not Kim Won-hee?
To play Santa Claus. My other thing was trying to think of, there's not a lot of fat Korean actors. I mean, once you get into the older men, there you do have a little bit more.
Lee Soon-jae was in My Princess. He played the grandpa.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's in everything.
Old grandpa type actors that I could see any of them could do well. The first person to pop into my head, who's not old at all, but just the idea of it made me laugh, was the idea of Ma Dong-seok.
Yes! That would be so good.
That would be great. So so that's my dream casting.
Buff Santa.
Buff Santa.
I accept that.
Might be a little bit of a different story, but probably be a love triangle between the mom, the lawyer, and
that I would also watch. For Nightmare Before Christmas, I didn't get as much as Natalia did, too. But I think my Jack Skellington is pretty awesome. I don't see anyone else in the role of Jack Skellington more than Lee Min-ki. It has to be.
Of course.
He fits perfectly. He fits visually. It would be perfect and great and wonderful. And
is he wearing guy liner?
Of course he is. Duh. Yeah. And then he's singing in it too, so it's great. For Sally, I was trying to think of someone, and this might be on a limb, but I kind of just want to throw it out there and see if it works. I don't know. As far as I know, they've never worked together, so I don't know their chemistry. But I picked Won Jin-ah. She was in Just Between Lovers and also Life, that hospital one with Lee Dong-wook. I just really like her acting style, and it's very kind of calm and believable. And I think that would be really good for Sally because she's kind of got that kind of tortured character. Because I mean, her character is really sad in Nightmare Before Christmas because she's locked in the tower, you know.
Sad eyes.
Yeah.
I see them together. I think I would like to see that.
They would be pretty. They would make beautiful.
They would make visually they're great. I just have never seen them together, so I don't know chemistry wise. But I guess it's Eamon Key, so
new with Just Between Lovers. She
and she was really
that
good
was
in it.
Pretty much the beginning of her career. So
and let's be honest, Lee Min Key could have chemistry with a cement block. So
that's very true. I forgot just as I was doing this to actually cast the scientist guy that has Sally under locks, and I'll have to think about that. It'd have to be super swarmy guy. No, I've got him on here for another thing.
Wait, let me guess. Is Kim Won-hye the guy whose head turns around?
Yeah, he's the mayor. Because he's perfect. He's a character actor, and he has to, do all those things. It'd be great. He's going to be perfect for it. So, I don't know who could work. Oh, maybe it'd be a little interesting, but he's a good character actor. The actor who plays the dad in Because This Is My First Life. What's his name?
I call him Gangster Face. I don't know what his actual name is. I don't know. I'm like, it's Gangster Face.
I'm terrible with names, so I don't know. But I think he actually might be really good in that character too, because he's good at that kind of extreme characters.
Yeah. So he always shows. He was in. He's always. He's Gangster Face.
He was in Terrace too.
Yeah.
He was just in Terrace. He's in everything.
Yeah. What was he in Terrace?
He was the main villain dude.
Yeah.
Who was like.
Yeah, he had the.
He is in everything.
He only showed up in the last 4 episodes.
He was maybe in there for 20 minutes total. Yeah.
So Kim Young-ok.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Gangster Face.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so for Oogie Boogie, the main villain. This one was a little hard because I was trying to find someone because I feel it really needs to be a soulful person, and I couldn't think of anybody, but I think possibly Shinsun Rock would be really great as Oogie Boogie.
Mm-hmm. Just put him in a.
When you were saying he's a bad guy who's soulful, I was like,
Yeah.
I just love him.
Yeah. So we're just gonna cast him in everything, but yeah, I think he might do a nice little spin on the character, so that might be fun. And also, he needs to be kind of Oogie Boogie really is kind of very evil in this movie. Yeah, so you need someone.
But compelling at the same time.
Yeah. You're I want to know what's in him, spiders or whatever. And then there are the 3 trick-or-treaters, Lock, Stock, and Barrel. And I kind of went on a limb because I really wanted them to be a trio. And I don't know, they probably could do well. I mean, it's just trick-or-treaters, so it's okay. And I'm kind of bringing some idols into this drama. I think Idon, Yana, and we would be great at Stock and Barrel.
Yes.
So
beautiful.
I thought that trio would be really great, and they'd also play off each other really nicely. They already have the chemistry. It works. It's perfect.
This is flawless casting right now.
And then I also had. I cast Zero, the dog, the ghost dog, as the dog from Still 17 because
I knew
super
that
cute.
Was coming.
Oh yeah.
And then as my last casting, this one's a little bit off because who I'm gonna pick is not a Korean actor, but for Santa, because I was thinking of a Santa, and he's not really in it. He's most of the time he's just with Lock, Stock, and Barrel and just he's kidnapped. But I thought the dad from the Thai version of Kiss Me, the dad of the guy, he would be a really great Santa.
He would.
So that's who I picked.
Yes.
But it also might work because Santa's coming from a different land or country, so it could be a different ethnicity.
I'm for this.
Yeah.
I'm with this. Alternate casting idea. The dude from Kevin from The Greatest Love, the random white guy who shows up and is like, all the ladies will love you. He's like one of those really bad white actors that like
That's right. He can do it like
just random white actors.
like who are supposedly American but have like Bulgarian accents. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I
Perfect.
could have gone for like variety show entertainer too. Like it'd be like a guest role, like a
Like
surprise.
Sam Hamilton.
Yeah, or something like that.
That would work.
It's really, really great.
He's got the Santa
Shape.
form.
But I think it would be like perfect because it would just be like just someone that you were like you can tell that they cast it purely because of who they were, and it'd be great.
You have to have one in every drama. Like,
You
it
do.
has to be those
You
guest
do.
roles, right? So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's how you get people to watch. It's okay.
So mine, I did not cast until we started the podcast, so it'll be interesting.
Yes. I like how we just like kind of like we started at the top and we just kept going.
I'm glad I was last. Let's just put it that way. So, like I was speaking on my cell phone, I was like, let's see.
You're like, oh no, they put more effort into this than I thought.
I was over here trying to think of random other Christmas games, and they're all like in-depth casting in the meantime. So mine was Elf, therefore I only picked the 2 leads.
That's fine.
And I copped out really bad and did Strong Woman Bong Soon pretty much just over again.
Ooh, that would actually be yeah.
Yeah, it actually could be great.
Without the creepy, just Elf with...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on this one. I can see it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I started out trying to think who could pull off Elf. Like, you have to think of who's going to be that silly, who's going to be that extra, who's going to be that kid-like.
Mm-hmm.
He could do that.
Yeah.
And then
I
she's
could also see.
cute and tiny and
Yes.
probably sing. I don't know.
I was
Or
gonna
they could
say
just
I could
dub
also
it.
see Krang Soo doing
Yeah.
Elf, right? Because he'd be
Oh,
good
yeah.
to have that
Really
visual height thing, you know, in the beginning when he like doesn't fit and stuff because he's so tall and long and
And
like,
he's got that like goofiness to him that would really lend himself well to the character.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's got a lot of physical comedy, so it could work out.
Oh.
and I mean you could still
I don't know why I
too.
just love him so much.
feel
I
it
love him too.
would only come to like his waist, so like, but it would be funny.
It would be adorable.
Yeah.
Well, they were in a movie together.
Yeah, there's like an ongoing thing on Running Man about them.
Collective
Oh, is there?
invention.
Yeah,
But
they're
he only
really good friends.
He only appears as a fish-headed man in that movie. The movie is surprisingly good. But yeah,
The fish-headed dude.
like Kwang Soo playing he's literally in a fish costume for 99% of the movie. It's amazing.
Okay.
I actually really enjoy that movie. Do recommend to anyone listening. It's surprisingly, what's the word I'm looking for here?
I think I've seen pictures of it.
It's like
It's like
surprisingly sweet and like poignant, surprisingly poignant film for a moofish-headed man. Like,
all right.
And I didn't think to cast it out of Elf, but I mean, that's kind of the other main character, I guess. And let's just put Kim Won-hee in that because you got it.
Yeah,
There you go.
he's
Why
got to
not?
be in every one of these.
he can do
Might
anything.
as well.
He can do anything. He can be anyone.
Yeah.
He's the master of disguise.
And he could be there too. He's good at scheduling his time. So
Clearly,
Yeah, he will be there.
His manager must be the hardest working manager in show business because he is in
really
like
is.
90 shows and is not dead. So
Yeah.
somehow,
And the quality of these shows varies. I mean, it's
Yes.
not like he's picky.
no, and
Yeah.
but he's always good no matter
Yeah,
how
he's
bad
always
the
good.
show is. He's giving his all. He's bringing something to the table, even if the show isn't.
Even if his lines are crummy, he's delivering those things.
Delivering gusto.
So for like games, what holiday dessert would we be?
Okay. I also thought pretty long and hard.
Like came up with that concept, what, an hour
Like
before?
like an hour ago, but the next hour of it. Okay. So here is my answer. Okay. Those little like Santas that are made out of strawberries that like they put like chocolate to make the little faces and little marshmallows on the top. And, you know, and they're
Yeah.
little strawberry Santas. So that's me, because they're cute and delicious and somewhat healthy, but also extremely unhealthy at the same time. So, yeah, that's me. I'm those little strawberry Santas.
I have not put any thought at all.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to like name each other's dessert and go
I'm just trying to think. So these are probably not traditional for everybody, but my mom used to make these cookies called Top Hat, and it's like a little chocolate cookie. It's a chewy chocolate cookie that has like nuts in it, and then you cut marshmallows in half, and you put a marshmallow on top of it, and then you pour like chocolate over top of it, so it like gets hard. So it looks like a little top hat, and they're delicious. And I'm going to say that's me because it, a little nutty, a little fluffy.
Love it.
And chocolate. Yay.
Okay. So my mom, she doesn't bake a lot, but one of the like main cookies that I remember her baking, and to this day it's like one of my favorite cookies. She does this date nut coconut cookie, and it's just like, I've never had it anywhere else, but it's like a Christmas kind of staple in our house. And so I chose that one just because it's a little different, because I'm a little different. But it's also got some of like the staple taste, and just it's like got a familiar. Yeah, it's a familiar because it's got some coconut, it's got some pecans in it, and it's like basically a sugar cookie, and then it's got some dates in it, which are kind of close to like fruitcake-esque type thing, but it's so much better than fruitcake. But
fruitcakes.
I don't like fruitcake.
It depends on the fruitcake. My aunt makes this fruitcake that's like, it's not really a cake. It's like the only batter is to just hold all the nuts and the cherries together, and it's pretty good. But traditional fruitcake can go to hell.
Yeah.
Nasty. Like, all you fruitcake haters can come, like, lovers can come for me, because fruitcake sucks.
Considering around my area, there's actually a monastery that makes fruitcakes. That made me laugh a lot. But I didn't pick fruitcake for mine.
I was sure that's what you were going to say there when you started to say that. I was like, she's going to say, I chose fruitcake. And
I'll be like, my comment stands. No, I'm kidding.
I would have said it if I liked the taste of it, but I really don't.
At the end of this fruitcake discussion.
You guys were saying hot chocolate should be me, which could be true. But so the main holiday staple in our house growing up was just the Christmas sugar cookie cutout stuff. But the thing was, it never turns out like you think it's going to turn out. Like, it always tastes good, but we would have these elaborate cookie cutters, and most of them would kind of work. But if you're doing something with like antlers, or it's supposed to be some elaborate legged thing, it always breaks, or just kind of is a ball of cookie. And then you think you're making the icing really pretty, like you try really hard. Oh, it's always just a mess.
I always love when people use the wrong cookie dough, like those sort of like baking fails where it's like sugar cookie dough doesn't expand, but then they use the one that does, and they have like this, like the pre-cooked like beautiful shape, and then when it comes out,
it's like it's just a blob.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
Our dough would always expand. Thank you very much. So, and then the icing would always be like too runny, so it was just like this puddle of color. The eyes would always be wrong. But guess what? It tasted good, so it didn't matter.
Exactly.
You're messy but delicious.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not too messy, but I'm kind of messy, I guess.
It's fine. Being a is part of...
I'm pretty random. I can take that. Extra, so I guess I'm fluffy.
Yeah. Some things might not have turned out the way you planned, but it's still going pretty good, right?
Hey. Good.
So, we also all watched the first episode of what the name would lead you to believe. It's a Christmas show. But the reality of it is that it is not.
No.
There is a drama special, it's on Viki, called White Christmas.
It was 2011,
Spoiler
wasn't it?
alert! It is
not
very
White
misleading
Christmas.
name. Technically, like, not that misleading, like, it does snow a lot.
It's white.
And it's during
snow.
Christmas.
It's
It is
after
during Christmas.
However, it's a tense thriller mystery, but it also stars like
Everybody.
a who's who of before they were famous.
Yes.
Delight.
It's the group. What do they call them? All the models that turned actors. They have a name for it. I'll have to find it. They have we're like, oh.
Sure.
I only watched the first episode.
I think I saw you guys talk about it on Twitter. It was like
because they all are models, and this is like one of their first all together acting.
It's not Model Mob, but it's something like that.
I only watched the first episode so far because that's all I had time for. But I do plan on watching the rest. But I was really excited for really ugly haired Woobs, but he only showed up for like 30 seconds at the end of the first episode.
You just have to keep watching.
That's true. It was a glorious 30 seconds. But gosh, that hair is such a crime.
Yeah.
Such a crime against humanity.
It goes with his character.
It's my first time seeing him. I have not watched him yet in anything.
Oh, really?
Your first boobs. The eyebrows.
To be fair, he's been gone, so okay.
They're all lunging towards the camera at me. It's cracking me through the computer.
Oh my goodness.
Just shove Kim Woo Bin down your throat.
And other than Kim Woo Bin, there's also Hong Jung Hyun, who was in like Scarlet Heart and some other Saguki stuff.
Yeah, he's got like
he likes to ride motorcycles and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a real
lovely
sinister looking face, but
and Lee Soo Hyuk, looking all angular and mysterious all the time. Also shirtless a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
No apparent reason, but
no complaints.
Really complaining.
Fan service.
Kim Young Kwang is in it. Also looking lovely. And Lee Song is in it. Like,
you say
only girl.
Yeah, the only female character
now.
So far.
People that kind of look familiar, but when like I look up, there's Sung Joon and
I love Sung Joon.
They all kind of familiar, but not like I can't quite place them.
Sung Joon is the lead in Sunflower Boy Band.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I love him so much. I love him so much. I couldn't remember what his name was, but I love every time he shows up in a drama. I'm like,
he's also in Need of Romance 3 and then like Madame Antoinette.
Madame Antoinette.
Yes.
Is perfect. And there's a couple of them were supposed to be in this Mojito that was supposed to come out this year, but that was a Drama Fever original.
Oh no!
Why did they hurt us this way?
A romantic comedy about a cashier with a girl nighttime who sets up a bar that only operates during the day and meets a woman who used to be broke, and the two of them fall in love.
You know what really grinds my gears about this is that it's been like a couple months since Drama Fever died, and still they managed to stab us in the heart.
Yeah, always.
On a daily basis. Let's just be real.
Every time, like,
their
we come across a gift that has their logo on it, I'm like, Drama Fever, you.
You guys do know the second female that's in the show. She just doesn't come in for a while.
You're at that part? Through the whole series in order to finally see her.
Would you like to know who it is?
Yeah, just tell us.
It's EL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did see somewhere that she was in it, but I was like, where? Okay.
You're like, what?
And I'm like, there's no other girls. And I've only watched one episode, so.
That's true. We're only at 1 of 8 right now, so.
Yeah, you have to get halfway through, and then you're like, oh, another person.
Did we also mention they're literally just in their high school, like, which is this like massive
prison,
preparatory, prison. Basically, they also make mention, they make mention in the show about people who are escaping army training or military service coming through that area too.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
it's like this secluded, like
It's the elite school for the 0.0001% of Korea. Like,
and it was designed after the Louvre.
Yeah.
super rich,
Super
super,
all they
like,
do is study.
yeah.
There's nothing else out there.
It
Nothing
sounds like kind of a place that would lead to, 1, a lot of suicide, and 2, a lot of sociopaths.
Yeah. And it's kind of essentially that they stay behind, and there's only like a week that they ever get off during the year. And
that seems
this is that week. And so like everybody else in the school has gone except for
them and the gym teacher.
Yeah, and the gym teacher, who's like the designated.
Who's like, yeah, I'm stuck with all y'all. Like, oh, it's my last Christmas of my 20s, but here I am hanging out with these assholes.
Because
like,
I must have done something bad in my past life. It's like,
I'm stuck here with you.
But also,
so we have to have
there's always
dinner and
food
I have to
there.
hang out with you. So, like, here's some like expensive wine. I hope you guys, don't tell me, but I really don't care.
Whatever, we're just
like,
here.
I got nothing to lose. I'm stuck at this goddamn school. Like, let's all just drink together and talk about the mysterious notes that we got.
Yeah, they also get mysterious notes. All of them have gotten this note.
They all stayed over school because they all got a weird, mysterious poem note that they figure out over the course of the first episode that, like, one couplet or line from the poem applies to each one of them. It has something to do with them. So they're, like, trying to piece it together and figure out, okay, which line describes you and which line describes me, and maybe.
And on the 8th day, they're gonna go to the tower, and there's gonna be someone dead. That's like basically the start of the show.
And they're trying to figure out if it's going to be a murder or if it's going to be a suicide.
Or if
So
it's
Christmassy!
or if it's just somebody being,
just being a piece of shit. Yeah.
Why would you stay? Like, I'm still going.
I just feel like, you know what, I'm going home.
Just going home.
Like, I don't care enough about this.
I mean, but they also are pretty apathetic about everything, so it's like they're like,
they're very world
I have nothing else to do.
All pretty messed up kids too, so maybe their whole life isn't all that great.
Yeah, because like they're stuck at
They
this
don't
school.
really care.
They don't really get to socialize normally, and
It's like super
interest.
secure. Like both the female and the male dormitories, you have to have a card to get in. There's security cameras everywhere. It's a fortress, and there's also like a gate around the school that's hard to get into before you even get into the school that like still has locked doors.
It's a prison.
It's a prison.
Even the dorm rooms have security cameras in them to pretty much make sure that you're doing nothing else but studying all day.
That doesn't seem like a violation of privacy.
Yeah, that seems a little, unnecessary.
Yeah. There are some pervy little security guards at that school.
No, there's some pedophiles working at that school.
It's not good.
For sure.
It's not a good setup at all. On the first night that they're all there and they're having this dinner with wine because the teacher is a horrible person, they hear like an alarm or a doorbell or something going off at the gate. So a bunch of the boys and the teacher like to the gate to see why the alarm's gone off, and they find this like man with a bloody head who says he was in a car accident, and the man was fine. It turns out he's a psychologist. And the teacher, because he's a horrible teacher, says to the kids, well, hey, this psychologist says he's a psychologist, so if you guys have, you should go talk to him about it.
Yeah, I haven't actually verified his credentials, but tell him all your secrets.
And had the head injury, but probably you should go tell him all your secrets, kid.
Nothing could go wrong.
Good idea.
I have not ran a background check whatsoever,
but whatever.
I watched one episode. I feel like something's gonna go wrong with that.
I wonder.
With my vast years of watching drama, I have and reading books and knowing how narrative works, I feel like something janky's gonna go down.
Maybe, possibly.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
There might be something happening.
Halfway through, I'm actually surprised at the amount of things that got revealed halfway through.
Yep.
I thought that some of the stuff was going to be revealed at the end, but it feels like there's going to be way more than I thought.
Yeah,
so
that's
is a
interesting. Psychological thriller even for the audience itself. They do play up on that.
So like, what I was guessing was going to be the mystery, it's like, oh, there's going to be more. Interesting.
Like,
there's more to it.
There's layers. It's like an onion of thriller.
It is. It is.
I was saying to these guys, like, when I was watching it, we were saying in the group chat that, like, while I was watching it, I was like, it's kind of boring. I'm not really into it. It's pretty dark. And I think I'll just read the synopsis and find out what happened. But, like, I woke up the next morning and I was thinking about the characters. I was thinking about the mystery. I was like, I wonder what this is and what's going to happen. And I think I have to watch it. Like, I haven't had a chance to yet, but yeah, I definitely think I'm going to have to watch it because it just sticks with you somehow. Like, there's something weird going on there that just sticks.
It's a well done, like, even from like the first episode, you can tell that you're in for a pretty well done wild ride.
Pretty too, like it's very artsy, like the shots. And the one scene that sticks out in my head is a scene where they're like talking about Lee Soo-hyuk's character and how he got the nickname the Angel and all this stuff. And then they walk out of the room and past him and they don't even see him because he's like sitting up in like a window ledge or rafters or something. Kind of like he's this like dark angel sitting up there watching and listening.
They do a lot of really interesting blocking choices with this. It's very theatrical, and what they do, it's like very specific and like purposeful.
Very purposely thought out,
Yeah, and they do a lot of the cinematography is really great, and they play up light and dark and shadows a lot. Like even in like shots where it's like they'll be in one of the walkways of the school and you'll see it during the day and then you'll see that exact scene during the night. And because of the way the architecture, like they were playing up with the architecture of the actual building, like the shadows are causing all these like crazy lines that are almost like jail like bars on the floor. And like it's got some really great things that they do.
Yeah, I got
with the entire show.
I got the sense that like there's these small cast of characters, but the school itself is almost
because
like it's the part of the mystery, part of the.
And they definitely don't shy away from dark lighting because half the time I'm pressing the key on my keyboard to try to see lighter, like
camera up,
a little bit more. Camera
up.
It makes it feel realistic as far as when you're in a dark hallway, you can't really see much. Just deal with it. So it's cool that it feels realistic most of the time, really.
I really, really enjoyed it. I watched the entire thing over the weekend, and I like basically couldn't stop, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was really great, and it has definitely, you said it, and I felt it, like Amanda said this in our chat, or one of your responses, and I felt it like within the first like 10 minutes of the first episode. It's a J drama more than it is a Korean drama. Like the tone of the show is that way, and it's also almost got a Lord of the Flies kind of quality to it. So if you've like read that book, you can like that kind of sense
it has
the show is there.
A sense of growing dread.
Yeah.
Throughout like the first episode, from like
very much.
Where it's like you know that this is not a good thing.
Well, in that in the end of the first episode, there's like Isam's talking to the like sketchy psychiatrist, and just the way, like, there's nothing really weird or awkward going on in the scene, but just something about it feels off and feels, and then it's interspersed with these guys talking. And the one character, Lee Soo-hyuk's character, is like high and crazy, and he's going on about the blue-faced monster, and it's obsessed with Isam's character. And suddenly the one boy is like, she's, something bad could happen to her. And they're like running all over the school trying to find her. And it's interspersed with scenes of her just having this conversation with the psychiatrist that, again, it doesn't seem that, like, it's just a conversation.
Yeah, if it was
somehow the way it's done fills you with dread. You're just like,
if it was
gonna murder her or like rape her or something. I don't know what's happening, but something bad is about to happen to this girl. Cause I don't know.
The editing is top notch. Like the way that they edit it together is perfect for the tone of the show. And I always really appreciate solid editing that can make or break something like this. And this is just beautifully done.
And they do not shy away from long chase scenes. So like when they're running through the school and all these stairways and hallways, and it's very pretty, but they do not shy away from the fact that it's going to take a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
As you see them physically going each place.
That leads into the school being both a character and an obstacle to everything that to these characters as a whole. because like their biggest obstacle in life is this school that they are prisoners at, essentially. From the first episode, that's what I got.
Yeah, I kind of like that they played around with that too. And then also, I think it's really interesting that it is actually true to that situation, that if the boys don't know what's going on and they're already at this like state of like confusion and they don't know what's going on, they've got this letter, they don't know, all these things are happening, they're gonna act super paranoid about everything when Isam's character is just having a talk with a psychiatrist. And so like that balance is really nice, because it's like that's actually what those kids would be feeling, even if the like scene there's nothing going on. And it's like used in a really great way that it's like, you know, that they're doing also for the audience, but also it's not like forcing it to fit with the audience and the building up the attention of the audience. It's like creating it natural and like naturally and like building up to it.
It feels really subtle the entire time.
Well, like I said,
it doesn't hit you over the head.
I'm thinking I'm bored and there's not much going on and it's not really that good, but like can't stop thinking about it later, right? Like the next day you're still like, it's still sticking, and it was intense. It was good.
Do we know how it was aired? It kind of makes me wonder, like, was it one a week? Do we happen to know?
I don't know, but I do know that I think it started at the end of January when
they
aired it, like till March.
It looked like it was a one a week or something, because it ran from January 30th to March 20th.
Yeah, and 1 a week.
Even though this is a special, it's a pretty long special in terms of like drama specials, because it is 8 episodes at over an hour long each, as opposed to a 2-hour, 4.5-hour thing.
It's more of a mini series than it is drama special.
Hey, to be honest, for me going into this, like I knew it was, you know, it's listed as a thriller and, you know, mystery, psychological, all this stuff. But probably more because of Woobin's crazy hair than anything else. I thought there was going to be more of a comedic aspect to it. Like I thought it was going to be something like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the movie April Fool's Day, but it's like, it's a slasher horror kind of Friday the 13th kind of thing, where like this girl invites all of her college classmates or high school classmates or whatever to come out to our like island cottage, you know, cottage on the island kind of thing for April Fool's weekend or something. And they all start dropping like flies, like start being murdered in horrible ways. And you realize that like she actually hates them all, and she has this like horrible, like, you know, and you're like, oh, okay. And then in the end, it was all a huge elaborate April Fool's Day joke. Like, and none of them knew about it. She, like, when she killed them, she told them the joke, and they were like, yes, and they were all in on it.
Oh my gosh.
So they're all like horrified, and then in the end, it's like this one guy, like her boyfriend or something, is the last one standing, and like he's like, oh my god, my girlfriend murdered everybody, and then everybody like comes back in and is like,
we just traumatized you.
But it was so like, it was scary, but it was like super funny too. Like, at the end, like, oh, and then they like flash back it all, and like, and the guy is like, you know, who drowned is like, ha ha ha, and you know, all this stuff. And I kind of thought it was going to wind up being something like that, where like it seemed scary, but in the end wasn't really.
And did you think I also thought that because the age group of the characters, like high school, like how scary, how thriller can that truly be? Like, so when we were actually first planning this podcast, we were going to be like, oh, we're going to talk about this White Christmas and that White Christmas and make it funny and like all these things. And then we started watching this like, oh, we can't talk about it like that.
Oh, this is actually not tragic and awful. Okay.
Let's not laugh about really serious themes. Yay!
You know what? It takes a good personality to find humor in tragedy, isn't it? Like, comedy is just tragedy plus time. So we've just sped up the time a little.
But I wasn't surprised that it was that much of a thriller for high school characters.
I didn't expect it at all. because I was just assuming that we were picking something like a little bit lighthearted, and then like when I actually found that it was thriller, I was like, yes, dear God, yes. I love thrillers, especially psychological thrillers. So this show is like absolutely something that there was probably no way I wasn't gonna like it. So I'm glad that it played out the way that it did, that it kept up that momentum.
It's helping me take baby steps towards that genre, because really I don't tend to watch those types of things for nightmare reasons, but if I can handle something like this, it makes me think, oh, I can maybe go watch Come and Hug Me and be kind of okay. Like it might be like my little kiddie pool.
Watch Come and Hug Me. Come and Hug Me is really good.
That's what I keep hearing.
So good.
Sometime.
So we know Jesse already plowed through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guy is like halfway.
Yep.
Right?
I finished episode 4 today, so.
And then we're still on episode 1.
But
we finished
are
the
you
first
going
episode.
to finish it?
Well, it's me.
Yeah, of course
so
you're
yes.
going to finish
but
it.
I'm going to finish it with enjoyment rather than with resignment.
I believe I will finish it eventually at some point, because
I'll probably finish it
sooner than later. It's just there's so much on right now.
I know.
I'm constantly behind, so I just don't. Yeah.
A lot of good quality stuff is coming out right now, of a lighter nature.
Yeah,
true.
The amount of shows I keep taking on is ridiculous. But that's okay. I've just accepted that. It's fine.
Whatever.
Fine.
This is the life we choose.
Yeah, exactly. We all have a destiny. This is ours.
It's the way it's going to be. So, it's fine.
This is how it is.
So White Christmas was unexpected, but not unpleasantly so.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the consensus.
Yeah.
So even though it's my wheelhouse, I'm all about it. I really like it. So.
And leading into the next section, there was a beautiful scene involving Isom wearing this scarf. That was just so beautifully filmed as it floats in the air in this crisp white wilderness.
And she's wearing this scarf like all through the first episode. Like she comes to dinner with this scarf wrapped around her neck, and apparently they're not heating the school while the kids are stuck there for Christmas. I don't know, because they're all wearing like 4 layers and scarves and hats.
You could see their breath a lot.
Yeah.
It was one of those drama specials like Dream High, where you can tell they did not pay for heating to save like production costs.
Yeah.
Their breath in the air.
So I have not watched it closely enough. There's a beautiful, beautiful scene at the end where she walks out to the clock tower and she's staring at it, and this scarf is blowing in the wind, and it just is beautiful. And at that point, I assumed somebody was going to come strangle her with the scarf because of the way things had led up. And, she doesn't get strangled with the scarf. Not the first episode anyway. But I don't know what comes later. But it's just beautiful, and I need to go back and I kept trying to get like a screen capture of it when it was wide across, because I want to see what the stitch is, what the lace stitch is on the scarf. So if any of the people listening are fellow knitters who also decide to watch this show, you can take a closer look at the scarf, and if you know what kind of stitch it is, then let me know, and I'm probably going to knit myself a Aesop scarf.
So for this week, I decided that my drink pairing would not be a wine, because we do have a member in our group that doesn't drink alcohol, and I always feel bad that my pairings are always alcohol. So
you don't need to feel bad.
But I still feel bad, okay? We're friends.
Okay.
But also, I think a running drink for all of us, and for most people, I would assume for the Christmas time, is hot chocolate. It's just a good, nice staple. It's nice to have around. It's, I guess, relatively cheap. It's cheaper than wine.
Mm-hmm. And you can also
booze it up
a little. Yeah.
Or Baileys it up.
That's right.
Pour some Baileys. The almond milk Baileys is very good if
good to know.
You don't want the dairy stuff, and it's like the same price. You can also make batches of it in the crock pot, and it's just an all-around really great drink. You can add some peppermint to it to make it minty, it's a nice drink. So that's my pairing for this week, because we need a comfort drink sometimes.
I appreciated that.
So, okay. Now to talk about fan fiction. So I was a bit skeptical that I could find the perfect balance between Christmas, Korean entertainment, and like a beautiful blend of the absurd with the holiday season. However, I discovered a fan fiction entitled Elf Magic by Wattpad user Silk Jins, which delivered on all of those fronts. So, the basic plot...
You're already giggly.
It's so good. It's so good. The basic plot is that Jungkook of BTS fame encounters the mysterious Jimin at the mall while doing some Christmas shopping, only to have him disappear when he looks away for a moment. Only have him then appear again at his house on Christmas Eve, declaring that he is an elf here to deliver Christmas presents, as Santa has been dead for years. Elves are like really who makes and delivers all the presents. So the two of them discover a sexual tension between them, which ends in a kiss before Jimin declares he's made a huge mistake and that it's forbidden for humans and elves. And he has to go back to the North Pole. But Jungkook is magically accidentally pulled along with him, only to discover that elf-human relationships are banned because of, like, a massacre. He and Jimin are now in legal trouble with, like, the Elf Council at the North Pole. I've pulled out a delightful excerpt to share with all of you. Let me dramatically reenact this. This is all still so damn weird. I agree, Jimin sighs. I've never seen such a pretty adult human before. Jesus, I'm talking about having a damned elf in my house, Jungkook mutters, a light blush blooming under his cheeks. And stop hitting on me. Hitting? Jimin's deathly brows gather in confusion. I'm not any way. What are you talking about? Jungkook shakes his head. Never mind. So
I remember seeing Jimin as an elf in my head.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
I started reading this one expecting nothing. Like my bar was low. But it is much better written than you would expect from such an absurd concept. It was like the most ridiculous one I've found. And I've found some ridiculous fanfic. It's still in the early stages. It's only like 6 chapters so far and has been put on indefinite hold by the author. But I'm hoping to continue it because it's bizarrely intriguing to read. Like
Can you tell me that Suga is there as like a crutchy elf? Because I need that.
But Namjoon shows up as another elf who also gets pulled into the legal troubles.
Okay.
For
Is he a lawyer elf or something?
No, he's just like a rando elf. With Jimin. So out of this point where it's at, there's nothing really spicy. So besides the two of them kissing, so my smut warning low. So send the author some love on Wattpad. Get in the Christmas spirit. I do have one small criticism, tiny criticism of it. And it's that Jungkook, like, just accepts that Jimin is an elf almost hilariously quickly. Like, one show, like, sort of magic, and he's like, elves are real! And then he's just, hanging into my house.
He's maybe not the brightest bulb in this,
It's incredible. Like, so stupid, but so good. It's a fun little read. Find it on Wattpad. That's Elf Magic by Silk Jins. I kiss my fingers at it. Like, I can say this about, I myself, not an ARMY. We all know this. I don't really know anything about BTS, but in the world of Korean entertainment fan fiction, every other fan fiction is BTS themed. And these ARMYs They got some creative members, some thirsty creative members hanging in the ranks. I read another pretty smutty one about where one of them plays like a sex therapist. That was
She's making a face. She's making quite the
amazingly, they weren't like sex therapying each other. It was like, and it was written in the second person. And for people who don't know, you are a character in the novel, and things are happening to you as you read it. It was pretty great. But anyway, that wasn't this one. This one's Christmas themed. Not funny. Fun. But I gotta hand it to these creative armies for coming up with insanely entertaining and just insane things. That was my fan fiction corner.
So, for music videos and songs, when it comes to holiday or Christmas themed music, there's a lot out there. There's lots. There's actually a lot coming out too. So keep an eye out for your favorite labels and your favorite groups, because they are probably cranking something out if they're active. If you want to laugh, just go check out some Christmas stages of your, back in 2006.
Oh gosh.
2010.
Good laugh today. Sharing some of our favorites with each other.
And I'll be sure to some good ones. Good as in
Horrible.
awesomely funny. But pretty much, if your group's been around for a while, they've probably done some version of Christmas, some not 17 different versions. And they probably have sang What I Want for Christmas, because that is evidently the song to sing for whatever reason. That or a really bad version of Jingle Bells, which I'm not saying that necessarily the Korean version of Jingle Bells is bad, but it's usually done in a really bad way. I mean, I found an Astro medley that made my ears hurt a little bit. And that's me saying, I've never had that happen before. I do think the songs that come out as music videos associated with the labels, where they take a lot of their artists and they have them sing a song together, some of those are actually really good, because they spend a little bit more time on it. It's the live stages that you maybe need to be a little bit more leery of, or at least take with a grain of salt, that it might not be the best quality of your artist that you could see. Because specifically the choreography, that's really the best part of a lot of this stuff, I'm telling you.
Oh, and in the early 2000s, the hair. Hair.
So early 2000s, if you're going back that far, which I encourage you to do so.
You're in for a wild ride and a treat. Oh
yeah. Well, one of them I was watching, I think it was 2006. I was trying to peek. It was an SM Town thing. So I was trying to peek it, because Super Junior, sometimes they looked way different. It wasn't just hair. They just actually appeared very different. But looks exactly the same. He is always just this. He looks exactly. It doesn't matter if it looks like he's wearing a wig. His face just looks exactly the same. It's true. I was like, oh, there he is. And he's always in the middle, because he's pretty.
It's true.
And I was trying to pick out Super Junior. I was like, oh, I think that's them, but they actually looked way different back then, and not just the hair. Like, they actually looked way different.
They look so little. They're little fetuses.
Yeah, and then I ran into a couple of fetus big hit things, so a couple of the BTS kids, and yes, they were.
And they're like kids.
Kiddos.
They're little. They're little teeny little baby face.
Singing very well.
Oh, beautiful voiced. Beautiful voiced little angels. Their testicles hadn't dropped yet. They could hit those falsettos.
I'm gonna pretend like I do.
Leave it to that.
That's why you keep me around, right? Little comments. Anyway, that note, thank you for listening. We love hearing from all y'all. You can find us on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, but I don't think any of us ever update it.
I'll update it. I swear. I'm sorry.
Whatever. I'm also in charge of the Instagram, and I'm bad at updating it as well. So no shame. We love hearing things from y'all on Twitter. You can follow us there. We have all our individual Twitters up too. We love talking everything K Entertainment. You can listen to us on YouTube, Google Play, Apple, iTunes, podcast, and then Podbean, where we
and Spotify.
And Spotify, that's right. We hope that you have an amazing holiday, whichever one that you celebrate. We got Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus, whatever you do, when we hope you have a safe and fun winter season.
Bye.
Bye.
Oy vey.